Hey ladies, it's Lori Landsberg, and I am going to show you our Night on the Town collection. This is a complete collection. It has so stinking many products. I'm telling you, you'll be completely set with this. Here it is. How gorgeous is that? Okay, so we are going to start with our first base makeup primer. This is vitamin based, and it's really awesome for prepping the skin for the foundation. So let it dry just a little bit. So this is our complexion palette. It comes with a foundation and two concealers. You get to choose. So I'm just taking a little bit of Concealer Zero and putting it on my eyelid because it also doubles as an eyeshadow primer. And then I put a little bit of pressed powder on top of that to set it. This is a 4-well eyeshadow palette. You get to choose the colors. We have 38 colors to choose. So I'm just going to take this shade called Taupe for the Best and put that in my transition area. I'm just going to speed it up so you don't have to sit and watch me apply everything. So because our eyeshadows are so pigmented, each time you tap the brush lightly into the shadow, you need to tap it to get the excess off so you have less fallout. Okay, transition shade is set. I'm putting a little bit more on the edges just to darken it up a bit. So this is called Raspberry Beret, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I love it. Don't let the brightness fool you because you can put it on as light or dark as you want. So I'm just going to go into the outer edges of my eye. And I'm going to start with a little bit of shadow, and I'll just work my way into making it a bit darker. So I'm just sort of doing it into the outer V, and I'll place it, and then I'll take a fluffy brush and I'll blend it out and make those edges a lot softer. Okay, and I have it just about where I want it. Aren't you glad I sped this up? Okay, now I'm taking brownie points and our smoky liner brush. I'm just going to dip a little bit of that into brownie points, tap it really well because this is where you're going to have a lot of fallout. But if you haven't done your foundation already, then it won't matter because you can clean that right up. So I'm going into the outer V with this because I want to create a bit more dimension. And when you layer shadows, you get beautiful, deep, rich colors. So I'm going to do that on both sides of my eyes. And you can see how it's already starting to come together. All right, I'm going to go back into Raspberry Beret. And I am tapping my brush into this, and I'm going to just tap it lightly on the eyelid where it was much more concentrated on the outer edges. I barely tapped it on there, and I'm just doing a really light layer. So then I'm going to go into this shade, which is called Pretty Penny. Same thing, same brush, and I'm just going to tap it on top of my lid, on top of that Raspberry Beret. This is sort of a rose copper look, and you have to layer these shades in order to achieve this look. So I'll do that on the other eye as well. This is one of my favorite looks. It's like a rose gold. Okay, so this is number 1 called Sweet Dreams, and this is where it kind of comes together. You tap that on top of the Pretty Penny, and that's where you get the rose gold look. So I've got Raspberry Beret, then Pretty Penny, and then I top it off with Sweet Dreams. I decided I needed to darken up the transition and crease area a bit more with Taupe for the Best, so that's what I'm doing here. Isn't it pretty? So now I'm just going to take a little bit of that Raspberry Beret and run it under the lower lash line. I always like to connect and bring around that shadow underneath my lash line, so I'm just going to layer the Pretty Penny on top of that. Basically the same technique I did on the lid. Got a little bit in my eye. And a little bit of fallout. All right, so here I took some of the brownie points with the same brush, that smoky liner brush, and I did the same thing, layered it on top of that. So now I'm going to take our perfect eyeliner pen. If you have never used this, girl, go get it. It's 18 bucks. It's the best liner you will ever use. It's also smudge proof, and it won't budge. It's a super fine tip, and I messed up, so I had to get a Q-tip and clean it. It is such a precise liner. If you like to do wings, this is your liner. You totally need to try this. It lasts forever. So it's little brushes instead of a felt tip, so you're not tugging on the lid as much, and it just glides on perfectly. I am going to curl my lashes. This is a Prima eyelash curler. It's a Japanese eyelash curler. It's just like the ones you've grown up using, but it's more narrow, so you have a lot more control over where you crimp the lashes and which ones you want to crimp. So like if you want to do the outer edges, you could just do the outer edges, but it's just so nice. So if you have lashes that just stick out straight, this is what you need. So I'm going to put on a little bit of our Perfect mascara. Our Perfect mascara is 20 bucks. It is wonderful. It has plant fibers in it that help lengthen and thicken the lashes. And it is not waterproof, but it is sweat-proof and water resistant. So I'm just gonna layer that on the top lashes and the bottom lashes. And the beauty of this mascara is it's layerable. So you can put as many layers as you want to achieve the thickness and the length that you want. And I love the brush. The brush is phenomenal. We had this brush when we first came out with the mascara, and then they changed brush heads and we all complained to get it back. So they brought it back. This is a fantastic formula. You'll love it. So now I'm going to take my foundation, and what I squirted in there was a little Skin Therapy. That's one of our moisturizers, and I love it because I feel like it makes it go on a lot smoother. So I'm using brush number 5, which is our buffer brush. Look how fast, and just watch my skin. Look at my skin come to life. Our foundation is wax-based. It has so much pigment that you only need a tiny amount, so you get the coverage you need without feeling like you're actually wearing makeup. And being wax-based, it just covers beautifully, and it doesn't sink into your pores or your fine lines and wrinkles. Do you see my face? Look at that complexion. It's like perfection. Although it does not cover up freckles, which is important to note. But it could if you wanted it to. So now I'm taking our pressed powder and I am setting the makeup. And I'm going to take our bronzer. This is bronzer number 2, and just add a little warmth to my face. So in the Night on the Town collection, you get to choose 2 of our pressed powders. So it could be a blush, a bronzer, the pressed powder. The 2 that I chose are the bronzer and then this beautiful blush shade, which I believe I chose number 3. I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks just to give me some nice color. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Love, love it. You can choose any shade you want. So now let's do lips. I chose liner number 2. You get to choose 2 liners. This is our dark nude liner. I basically use this every single day with our one of our lipsticks. You get to choose 2 lipsticks as well, and this one I think I chose a berry shade. Let's see. Yep, I chose a berry shade. That's really pretty. This is one of our sheer lipsticks. So we have sheer and opaque. You get to choose which one you want. I love this look. It's almost a complete look. The only thing you'd have to add is this setting spray, which sets the makeup. I always say the powder sets the makeup, the spray seals it all together. The only things I used additional to what comes actually in this collection is the primer and the setting spray and the pressed powder. But those are things you could add to it for sure. Okay, so let's recap the Night on the Town collection. You get 1 perfect foundation with 2 complete concealers. You get to choose 2 of our perfect blushes, bronzers, or powders, 4 perfect eyeshadows out of 36 shades. You get a perfect eyeliner pen, mascara, 2 lip glosses, 2 perfect lipsticks, 2 enduring lip colors, and 2 enduring lip liners. All of this for $332. You save 30 bucks. And that gets donated to our Brighter Together Foundation to help women in impoverished societies. So if you have any interest in checking out these products, you can visit my website at lorilandsberg.com.